The DJI Pocket 3 and the Xtra Muse. What's the difference? Allegedly, just the price. But there's an easy way to test that, and let's compare the footage. My preferred SD card would be the SanDisk Extreme. I go for V3082 version. The DJI Pocket 3 inserts like this. The SD card actually inserts in the exact same way too. My main issue with the DJI Pocket 3, and which I will assume is an issue with the Xtra Muse, is that the colors are not quite true if you're not shooting in D-Log and if you don't have a couple of settings fixed up. Rotational spin I keep at default. Gimbal I usually go to FPV with this little underscore thing. Gimbal startup direction, I keep that to last setting. No selfie flip. Rotate screen to power off. Let's keep this to never. Screen off when recording. Please make sure that that's on never. Auto power off, I keep to 5 minutes. Slider mode, I do prefer to keep it on zoom, but you can change it to gimbal if you wanted. Press and hold shutter record button to cancel recording. I keep that one on. Joystick speed, I usually keep on the deep. Video compression, I keep to efficiency, HEVC. Sounds, I keep to low. Reference lines, I keep the grid lines on. I just noticed it's in 1080p. Let's change that. You're gonna swipe up. I shoot in 30 frames per second. That is a personal preference, but this one can go from down to 24 up to 60. So I have 3K resolution and 30 FPS when in vertical mode. Now do keep in mind, you have to change the settings for every single format. So now we're in 4K resolution because we're in landscape mode. I swipe in left from the side of the screen and then turn Pro on. The white balance, I do keep it to auto. Exposure, I actually keep it to manual. On the left-hand side, I keep it to double my frame rate. And so I'm shooting in 30 frames per second. So I'm gonna keep this to 1/60. I like to do the ranges for ISO. So I just do 50 to 3200 so that at least my frame rate is set, but the ISO is still a little bit more optimized. So the color, you have X-Log, normal, and HLG. I shoot in D-Log on my DJI Pocket 3, so I'm gonna set it to X-Log just because I wanna run it on as the exact same settings as I can so I can compare the video footage. Glamour effects, I always keep off. Focus mode is continuous. Smoothing, I keep off. Custom default, I change the sharpness to -2. So those are my settings for the DJI Pocket 3, and now those are the settings for the Xtra Muse. Now, if you notice, I actually do have an ND filter on my DJI Pocket 3. I have noticed that even when color grading with D-Log, footage on the DJI Pocket 3 is slightly overexposed. I don't have one for the Xtra Muse yet, so what I'm gonna have to do is take the footage on the DJI Pocket 3 using the ND filter first, and then switch it over to the Xtra Muse. The on-screen settings are exactly the same. So you have the SD card up here, the gimbal, video, flip the camera, zoom, and then the EV. This is me recording with the DJI Pocket 3. I'm gonna shoot vertically to match the format of the video that I'm already taking. Now we're switching over to the X Muse. Now, one thing that I haven't seen anybody mention about these cameras is how they're exporting the footage. You can pop out the SD card and then use one of these readers or a different card reader to get the footage over onto your phone. But for me personally, because I shoot in D-Log, I actually go straight to the app. I didn't think that Xtra Muse had an app because nobody's ever shown it. So let me be the first to let you know, there's extra tech. I already connected the Xtra Muse and you can pull your footage directly from there. If I click into the footage, ta-da, sorry for the glare, there is indeed a color recovery button right there. Color recovery is applied. I'm going to export 3K, and would you look at that? No watermark. Awesome. That was a very similar experience. While I'm waiting for my export to finish, let's talk some accessories real quick. The ND filter that I like to use is the KNF variable filter. I also keep a base on mine so that it can stand up straight. Again, with that, I'm using KNF. I had an extra Ulanzi one that I'm using for the Xtra Muse now. The reason that I prefer the KNF one is the weight. The KNF one is actually lighter than the Ulanzi one, but there's nothing wrong with the Ulanzi. They both work the same in keeping them upright and straight. The cage that I keep on my DJI Pocket 3 is from Amazon. It has a magnetic backing here that I can use to put on different places. And then the overall case that I use is this one, also from Amazon. But the reason I like it is because it protects the screen and the gimbal. Makes it a lot more secure when I throw it into my pocket. And as you can see, it fits on the Xtra Muse exactly the same way. So when they tell you that these are the same, it's safe to say that they are. My only gripe with the Xtra Muse is that, to my knowledge, it does not work natively with the DJI mics, which is one of the reasons that I really like the DJI Pocket 3 and the DJI ecosystem as a whole. Just being able to connect them through Bluetooth is a huge advantage, at least for me. It's convenient and it's fast, but that doesn't mean that you can't record with good audio. It just means that you have to have a mic receiver that has some sort of USB attachment so that it plugs in directly to the Muse, and then you can get clean and clear audio that way. Overall, one not so good feature compared to every other feature being exactly the same, with the difference of this one being $200 cheaper right now, does make it worth it. If you're someone who's been looking to level up their content but doesn't necessarily want to spend the big bucks, you now have a cheaper alternative that has all the same features and the same quality level of content. The Xtra Muse is a gift for a friend, so it's not going to be with me for long, but while I have it, if you have any questions, shoot them my way. I'm happy to do some more testing. I'm a big fan of dumbing it down and keeping it simple. So hopefully you enjoy the same and you like this video tutorial. Let me know if you end up getting the Xtra Muse or the DJI Pocket 3.